concentrating on Bobby Hurley. I wasn't really concentrating on my offensive game, but fortunately I hit the open shots and Greg set me up well.
All right, over here.
I just wanted to ask the players, you guys won the NCAA championship with the most points ever scored, the biggest margin of victory, the most steals. And I wanted to ask each one of you what it felt, and also Larry Johnson about his 2 3-pointers. And is he the next Reggie Miller?
Okay, we'll start with Larry Johnson.
I know I'm not the next Reggie Miller. Them 3-pointers just a credit to Coach Tim Gergwich, who's really helped me out during the year. I mean, staying after practice and just shooting threes, and he really helped me out with that. And he just deserves all the credit for that. And as far as the records that we set, I mean, that's just a reflection on the team. I mean, I think Anderson played just about the best ball game he could play. He was on defensive end, he was on offensive end, and I mean, when we get out on the break, we just love it. Greg does a great job of just looking for Anderson, and once he finds Anderson, Anderson knows what to do with the ball.
All right, Greg Anthony.
Well, honestly, I mean, it's great to have all those records, but for me, it just, I thought after we won the semifinals, I didn't really have like an overjoyed feeling, like in a press conference. I said, well, if we win it all, I know I'll be thrilled. And honestly, I am, but it still kind of hasn't sunk in yet. And it just, I don't really feel anything, to be honest. I mean, I'm not really overjoyed. Maybe when we get back home and see all of our fans and the support, then it'll sink in. But right now, I just, I'm like kind of just not in it right now.
And finally, Anderson Hunt.
Well, I feel that whether we won by 30 points or 1 point, we still the national champions, and it's great.
Okay, back over on the right.
Anderson, how does it feel to win the Most Outstanding Player Award, and how does this compare to last year when you hit the winning shot against Arizona?
Well, it feels great being the MVP, but I really not thinking about last year's shot. I'm trying to concentrate on this national championship.
Okay, up front.
For Anderson, Greg, and Larry, all the talk about evil versus good, did that make this an easier game to prepare for? Did that have any impact on you?
Anderson.
No, it didn't. We knew what we had to do coming into the game. We was a national championship game, and whether how you sum it up, it was on paper national championship game, not good guys versus the bad guys game.
Greg.
Oh, we didn't even think about that. I mean, the way we saw it was we had a great team. Duke has a great team. Both deserve to be here, and the winner would be national champs. The good guy, bad guy thing is a figment of the media's imagination.
And Larry.
I feel, the media and the press is going to call us whatever they want to call us. And, I mean, you can call us bad guys.
Champs.
You can call us.
National champs.
What was it? What did they call us the other day?
Thugs.
You can call us thugs. You can call us all that. But at the end, put that on there, too. We appreciate it just for us to put national champs on there.
Just a quick interruption. Anyone who needs a box score of facts needs to check in at the back of the room. Okay, in the back.
Question to the players. Aren't any of you amazed that you won this game by 30 points?
Greg, you want to take that?
I mean, I'm not trying to discredit Duke, but I don't know. It really hasn't sunken in. Maybe because, we really haven't, read a lot of the media and been involved with the exception of the press conferences. So unless you read all that stuff, then I guess it would sink in. But right now, we've won the game. It feels great. It feels better than, say, if we had a loss. But the margin of victory is not really, that thrilling. I mean, I'm just glad to win. But like I said earlier, I mean, honestly, it just hasn't sunk in yet.
Okay, over here, Wendell.
Yeah, this is for Larry and Greg. Duke cut the lead to about 10 points there early in the second half, and you guys went on that 18-0 run and just blew the game wide open. Did you all sense that was kind of a key point for you all as far as, they had sort of made a little bit of a run, or and what happened when you guys, how were you all able to get that run going and score 18 straight?
Okay, Larry?
All through the game, we really wasn't distracted by anything. And when they cut the game to 10 at that point, we just huddled up like we usually do on free throws and just told each other to tighten the vise and just keep going and just keep playing your hearts out.
Greg?
Yeah, I mean, the streak was a cause of our defense, and I guess after you have an 18-0 streak, I guess it would kind of tell you that maybe you are in control. So, we kind of felt real good when we looked up and saw we were up 28. I mean, it's a pretty good feeling.
Okay, in the back.
Jerry, I understand that the city of Las Vegas is having a big parade for the Las Vegas Rebels team. Are you going to be their coach, or are you going to go to Oklahoma or Nebraska or someplace to do a clinic?
I'm supposed to go to Tulsa tomorrow morning to make a video, but I don't know. I just got to see what I could do on that. I kind of want to go home. Our Thomas and Mack Center was full the last 2 days. Our town is really behind the team, and so I'll just have to wait when I get back to the hotel, find out what I got to do.
Okay, right up here.
Coach, did you go to the towel?
I can't even remember. I know I started on the towel, but I think through most of the game, I can't remember. I don't know. I really don't know when I use the towel most of the time. I really don't. It's not a planned thing. It's just something that I do.
Okay, in the back.
Coach, people make a lot about the defensive prowess of Indiana, and they talk about some of these other teams having great defenses. UNLV is known as the Running Rebs. Do you think finally now, and Coach K alluded to this, that you will get your just due as one of the very best defensive coaches in the history of college basketball, which you really deserve?
Well, thank you. I don't know. That's up to – I know the coaches all like our defense because I speak at a lot of clinics, and that's what they always have us speak on, that and our kids playing hard. But the media sometimes hasn't figured that out yet. But I think the last 8 years, we really believe, whether it's true or not, I'm not saying it's true, but we believe, and our coaches all believe, that we played the best defense in the country the last 8 years. We think us and Duke have the last 8 years.
Okay, Mark.
Larry, yesterday Coach Tarkanian said that you've had that trailing three-pointer on the fast break at the top of the key open all year, and you've probably taken about 30 of them in 39 games. What caused you to take those two in the second half tonight?
Well, Coach really gets mad at me if I hesitate for a second or two and take it, simply because I miss it. If I just go straight up and shoot it, I normally makes it. So I knew it was open the first half. I was coming down a couple of times on it, and I knew it was open, but I just wasn't thinking about shooting. I just kind of put in my mind that the second half, if I come down and it's open, I was just going to pull up and take it, and I did it a couple times, and fortunately it worked for me.
All right, in the back.
Yeah, Coach Tarkanian, can you comment on Johnson's play?
Well, Larry's play is always great. He took those shots today because it was a big game. If it was an easy game, he wouldn't have taken those shots, even if he could make them. It was a big game, so he took them and he hit them. Larry is just such a great player. He's such an unselfish player, and I think a guy who really has been overlooked. I don't think he's overlooked, but I don't think he gets the credit as Greg Anthony. I think he's emerged as one of the great guards in the country. I think people don't realize the great job he does defensively also. Gets his hands on so many passes. He frustrates his man so many times, and has just been a great, great leader for us.
Okay, up front.
Thanks for answering my question, Coach.
Okay,
that's what I was
well,
going to
Larry's
ask
great.
Greg, but I do have one for Larry. Your interior post defense, they're up 16-11. They tried to throw the ball over you twice. I kind of thought that set you guys going because you got 4 straight steals. Will you talk about your role right there?
Well, I knew I was on the big guy, and he's a great, post player down low. And coach was just telling me to just keep fronting him and trying to get in front of him and go for the lob, because if you front a guy, you know that they'll try to lob the ball over your head. And he got a couple on me because he, just a great player, and I was just fortunate enough to get my hand on 1 or 2 of them.
Okay, in the back.
Anderson, you had some amazing streaks in this tournament. I think in the first game you scored 7 of 9 quickly down the stretch. In the first half you had 6 in a row quick. Then you scored 12 of those 18. Can you describe, is that a normal way you play? You just get explosive, the guys want to give you the ball, and you want it?
You can say that, but I credit the fellas for that. Our defense brings a lot of offense, and unfortunately we got a few breaks and a couple of fast break buckets.
Over here.
For all 3 players, when did you know that they had given up?
Larry.
Duke is a great ball club, and they have their tradition of winning, and I never thought Duke gave up. They played hard right down to the end. I thought the game was over at about 2 or 3 minutes to go in the game, but I never thought Duke gave up.
Greg?
Yeah, I think that's a credit to their program. It's similar with Loyola. I recall we were up, 35 points or what have you with a couple minutes ago. They were playing as hard as when they were down 35 as they were when they were down 2 or what have you. And the same thing with Duke. I mean, they never gave up, and that's just a credit to their program. And, you know, we like to think if we were in that position, which, you know, we hope we never are, we would never give up because, you know, that's just our attitude is to never say die.
In the back.
Larry, now that you've done the national championship, what besides your degree is there left to do?
Back to back. Back to back.
Okay, we're going to let the UNLV players go to the locker room, and of course their locker room is open. Coach Tarkanian has agreed to stay on here. Those of you who have questions, we'll continue to take questions from the audience. Yes, in the back.
Coach, could you comment on Stacey Augman's play tonight?
Stacey Augman's play throughout the tournament has been outstanding. You know, I thought he had another great game again today, and he's just been outstanding throughout the tournament. I think the reason we really moved up a notch or two is the way Stacey has played since the Big West tournament.
Yes.
Coach Tarkanian, is your national championship partly a tribute to the Big West and its improvement in prepping you? In the past, the conference has been criticized for competition level.
Our conference is really a pretty tough conference. People don't give it a lot of credit because so many of the schools in our conference don't have big arenas, and they don't fill their big arenas, so they play on the road a lot. But they are really tough whenever we go there. Some of our toughest games have always been within the conference. I wanted to say something that I don't know if it helped us, but I think it put our kids in a good frame of mind. We got a call this afternoon from Walter Payton. He wanted to come down and talk to the team, and I had never met Walter Payton. Nobody on our team had met Walter Payton, and so we said, sure, if you want to talk to him, we'll give him 5 minutes for the game. And you know, and he came in and he said he's been a UNLV fan, that we're his favorite team. He's got a satellite. He watches us at night. He says, in fact, he says it even causes some marriage problems because he watches us so late at night when we come on. And he said he loved the team so much, and he made a speech to our kids that I thought was so inspiring. And I think when he left, every one of our kids went up and hugged him. It was just a beautiful thing. And when the game was over, Walter came in our locker room. He's adopted us, the Runnin' Rebels, and I just want people to know that because it was so beautiful of him to come in the locker room and talk to our kids the way he did. He just talked about how he played in the Super Bowl and how what a big moment this was and how they would remember this their whole lives. And he stressed that it was important that they concentrate and give it their best effort, but it was also very important that they have a lot of fun while they were out there. I thought it was a beautiful thing. I thought you people might be interested in that.
All right, a couple more up here.
You referred to this yesterday, but now that you've done it, to win a national title after you're ranked #1 in preseason and go all the way through, what does that mean, the perspective?
Well, you know, I think it really indicates that we certainly were an outstanding team because, you know, we finished the regular season #2 and we won the tournament. I don't think there's many teams that have been 1 or 2 that have won the tournament. Usually it's somebody gets, you know, those teams usually get upset. So I'm real pleased that our kids did both. You know, we had a great regular season, then we came on and won the tournament.
Okay, 3 more. Here, here, and here. Yes.
Coach, after all the struggles and all the time and so forth it took you, you've been close several times. Do you really expect us to believe that you had to be talked into accepting the trophy?
That's true, really. I figured a lot of people were saying, I hope you accept the trophy, you do this and that, and that was not my intention, seriously. That was not my intention, and I'm just happy we won. I'm very grateful we won. The tournament was a great event. The people who ran the tournament were really outstanding to us. They treated us very fairly. They seeded us #1. They kept us in the West. They treated us beautifully. Dave Maggard, Gary Cunningham, Tom Jernstedt, everyone, Jim Delaney, everyone connected with the tournament was really, really great to us. And, I just feel real good about it.
Okay.
What specifically X's and O's wise did Hunt do on Hurley that was so effective?
See, that's where a lot of people don't realize Anderson guards the ball extremely well. You know, we told Anderson one of the real important factors in the game would be if he could keep Hurley in front of him and not let him penetrate, and at the same time, if he can do that and still make it difficult for him to throw lob passes. Because in a lot of tapes we saw, one of their big plays that they get so much out of is Hurley throwing the lob pass to Abdel Nabi when you're fronting them. Not many teams front anymore. We do, but teams that do, they throw that lob pass so well. So we worked on Anderson all day yesterday and today about keeping Hurley in front of him. And even though you keep him in front of him, don't let him throw a good lob pass. You got to crowd him. There was one point when we were in our zone, they threw a great pass underneath to one of the big guys, and he threw it to the other guy, and Augman got his fall. The reason for that was we didn't have pressure on Hurley at that time. So we called a timeout right then, and we told him, you got to keep pressure on him, because if you don't put pressure on him, he's such an intelligent player and such a good passer, he's going to find the open person. And then we responded. We went right back and kept pressure on him. As long as you keep pressure on him, he's not going to be able to find those people as well. That was in our amoeba. And the other important thing we felt was they run the high-low passing game really well with 6'11" guy Leitner popping out and throwing it to the 6'10" guy Abdul Nabi. And, you know, we had a decision to make. We put Butler on Leitner and Larry Johnson on Abdul Nabi. But the key to that was we're fronting Abdul Nabi is whenever Leitner caught the ball, Butler had to put great pressure on him so he couldn't throw a good pass. Leitner is also an excellent passer. But again, we felt that if we put pressure on him and he couldn't read the defense, that he might cause some turnovers. He's a very intelligent player and a great passer. And I think in most of the films we watch teams back off on him, and he's such a great passer and so intelligent that he makes the right play. Our thought was we wanted to keep pressure on him so he couldn't read where to throw the ball next. And Butler did a great job of that, I thought. And that's why a question here was brought about Larry Johnson stole 3 lob passes to Abdul Nabi, and one of the reasons was we had good pressure on the passer.
Okay.
Coach, when you guys were up by 30 with 6 minutes left, you still seemed to be intense, almost worried about the situation. Could you tell us what was going through your mind then, and when did you finally start to relax?
With about 5 minutes to go, I thought we had the game won. With about 8 minutes to go, I thought we should win it. We were certainly the favorite at that point, I would say, but I didn't feel like it was over at that point, really, because, you know, we're not a real good free throw shooting team, and if they fall us and we miss free throws and they got hot, anything could happen. And this is a type of game. This is the national championship game. You don't want to say, hey, we let this game get away from us because we let up. You know, we relaxed. We've had a saying that we've been using throughout the tournament, and we use it all the time. When we get a lead, we say that's the time to tighten the vise. Don't break your concentration when you get the lead. Just tighten the vise a little tighter and tighter, and don't let up. So every time out we had a lead, that was what everybody kept saying, tighten the vise, tighten the vise. All of our guys on the bench kept saying that, which I thought was very nice.
All right, and the last question, Mark.
Coach, the NBA has come after you twice. You've won a national championship now. What would the pros and cons of NBA coaching be to you at this time?
I haven't even thought about it, really. I'm just pleased that we won this, and I'm very happy for our kids and for our community. I haven't thought about it. Honestly, I'm not trying to avoid anything. I just have not thought about it.
Coach Tarkanian, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you and your team.
You know, the difference in amoeba and a regular zone is we have pressure on the ball all the time. Yeah, we always pressure the ball. So that we use the same fundamentals we use in our man-to-man defense. We use the same stance, the same closeout. We pressure the ball. We try to do the same things, and that's what I like about the amoeba. I think the amoebas could really be something.
While Coach Tarkanian is listening to the question, I've been asked again to remind you that anyone, even in the press room or up here, who needs a box score fax, please check in at the back of the interview room.